our dreams just random images fired from an unconscious brain during sleep? Or something much more important, like life-saving inner guidance? How dreams can be healing and early warning tools for disease, financial crisis, or success. And love is still one of the behavioral science's greatest unanswered questions. Hello, I'm your host, author Kat O'Keefe Canavas. Welcome to Dreaming Healing, where dreams and cutting-edge scientific research meet on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network. Dreaming Healing is every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, when you can call in and ask Kat questions about your amazing dreams. Talk on air. Call toll-free, 833-220-1200. That's 833-220-1200. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. This show is live, so, call in with any of your dream questions, your dreams, your nightmares, and for tonight's show, any publishing questions you may have, because, we have a publisher who's going to be our guest. And the number to call is 833-220-1200. That's 833-220-1200. So let's open the show tonight with our short protection meditation. So let's get started by getting comfortable. Sit down and take your shoes off if you want. During this meditation, we're going to imagine using something that is small but powerful to you. Maybe it's something given to you by, your guardian angel or a spirit guide, or maybe a deceased loved one who has come into one of your dreams. And it can be an amulet or a talisman. So if you don't have one, just imagine holding your favorite flower, crystals, or a piece of jewelry that really means something important to you in your hand. Anything that holds the power of love for you as a power gift, because love is so powerful. Now sit comfortably. Together, we're going to take in 3 really deep breaths, and we're going to hold them while anything that is not of our highest and best is captured in that breath of life. And then we're going to blow it across the room into the purple flame of Saint Germain, where it's going to be converted into positive energy and light and return to the universe. And we're doing this so that we don't litter. We don't want to put negativity out there in the universe. Then we're going to build a protection bubble with our power gift, and we will have that protection bubble working forever. Okay? Occasionally we have to go in and maybe stitch up a couple little holes, but we're going to do that every time we have my show. Okay, ready? Close your eyes. Feel yourself relaxing and becoming centered. Now take in a deep breath. Hold it. Now blow it out across the room into the purple flame of Saint Germain. Again, deep breath in. Imagine any tiny specks of negativity sucked into that breath. Now again, blow it out into the flame of Saint Germain. Really deep, like empty all your lungs out. One more time, really deep in. Hold it. Hold it. Blow it out across the room. Watch it go into the purple flame of Saint Germain, where it's turned into that positive light and returned to the universe. Now imagine your power gift in your hand and swing it around your head and your body to create a mirrored bubble of protection around you that will only let that which is of the highest and best brought to you by your spirit guides or guardian angels into that bubble. Anything else that is not of our highest and best is reflected back from whence it came. We wish it so, and therefore it is. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes. In the meantime, you can just listen to my voice. Dreams are so much more than random firings from the brain while we sleep. Our dreams are a microcosm of our daily lives, and some of those dreams and those microcosms and our daily lives make great books. They can show us red flags in our relationship, or it can be a job change. Our dreams can guide us within to make the right decisions. It can also be an early warning sign of health issues. We know those universal signs and symbols of dreams. Your dreams can guide your writing as well. For those of you who are listening right now who are authors, you can use your dream journals to help you write positive change and positive writing into your work. So many of you may have seen me on my video podcast last hour on the Cat Cannabis Show live on New Earth TV. And if you can, go to my Facebook page, Kathleen O'Keefe Cannabis Author, and watch it at your convenience. I had on Dr. Atkinson, whose book is The Year of Living Deeply. And he was talking about revisiting the dreams of 1969 with Woodstock and all the things that were happening, the moon landing, going back and remembering all of those things that happened. And sometimes it's difficult to remember those things, but our dreams can take you back to those times so that we can reconnect with our emotions. And that it kind of brings us to a dream question that came into me by email. And the question said, apparently there's something called lucid dreaming where you can control your dream. Can you explain how this works? Well, lucid dreaming is when you know you're dreaming in your dream. Perhaps it's a nightmare. And you tell yourself not to be afraid because it's just a dream. Or you think what just happened in the dream was really strange or even funny. Like I had a dream, wake me up, the other night because I dreamed I was going to a huge dinner party, a really swanky one. Everybody was dressed up in formals, and I decided to go to the dinner party in my great big white bathrobe, barefoot. Yeah, I really did. And so I walked down out of the hotel, down the stairs. I decided not to take the elevator because I didn't trust it. And that could have been because when I was visiting my cousin in the hospital, the elevators kept breaking. And so in my dream, again, our dreams are a microcosm of our waking world. I refused to get in the elevator in my robe barefoot. But I walked into this beautiful dining room. And the maitre d' looked at me and said, "Would you like me to go into your boudoir and bring you something?" And I said, "No, thank you. I've given up bread." And then I turned in the dream and thought, that was a really weird answer, even for a dream. And I woke up because I realized I was having a lucid dream. So that's the answer to your question. Lucid dreaming is when you know you're dreaming, and sometimes when you suddenly realize you're dreaming, you'll wake yourself up. And that's one of the great things about it, because you can actually change the outcome of your dream. Think of it as therapy, and you can actually change your life. And you can use that lucid dreaming if you are a writer to write even better. Speaking of dreams, how many of you are authors out there who dream of being a published writer? Well, our guest tonight is the Reverend Patricia Caganello. And when I first met Reverend Patricia Caganello of Sacred Stories Media, Sacred Stories U, which is short for University, and Sacred Stories Publishing, while interviewing one of her clients on my show, I thought she was special. But then, when I found out she was ordained from One Spirit Interfaith Seminary in New York, earned her Master's of Arts in Education and her Bachelor's of Science in Business, I knew she was special, and I wanted to learn even more about her. Because imagine mixing finances and business with faith and spirituality. It's one of the hardest things to do. And I remember thinking, now that is a really sweet change. So I invited her to be my guest on my video podcast, The Cat Cannabis Show. And now I'm going to share this amazing person with you here on Dreaming Healing. The Reverend Patricia is also a publisher whose company, Sacred Stories Publishing, does professional self-publishing, hybrid publishing, and conventional publishing. It also does marketing and publicity for all of its authors. And it also does the marketing and publicity for previously published authors who are seeking publicity for their work. Because as you know, if you're an author or you're a published author, publicity is of paramount importance, and it's the hardest thing in the world to get. She also does online telesummit series, podcasting, video series. She has the Owl magazine, and online education in the form of Sacred You. But you know what? There is something really special I bet you would never guess in a million years about my guest tonight. The Reverend Patricia worked in the corporate and educational worlds for many years and proudly served 6 years as a sergeant in the U.S. Marine Corps. Yeah, Semper Fi. So without further ado, let me bring her on. Welcome to the show, Reverend Patricia Caginello.
Thank you, Kat. I'm delighted to be here.
Oh, my goodness, you are such a special person, and we are so delighted to have you here. My first question to you is, what is Sacred Stories, and how can it be of service to our listeners right now?
Well, Sacred Stories is actually an expression of my own personal divine journey. So about 8 years ago, I had a life experience. At the time it was traumatic, and it kind of really, sent me searching for some deeper answers. And I think a lot of people might be able to relate to that, because it seems that many people are having, very dramatic, if not traumatic, life experiences. And that's why I entered seminary. That's why I left the corporate and educational world, and ultimately looking to find my voice and to find answers. And I'm the proverbial student, and so I I wanted to take some time and really explore. And as I was doing that, interesting enough, speaking of dreams, I was dreaming one evening, but it wasn't a dream. It was almost like a download. I was woken up. So I guess it's a form of lucid dreaming, but it was different than any other kind of lucid dream. I was actually watching myself, and what was happening is I was watching myself, but I wasn't dreaming, but I wasn't fully awake, and I was having a complete download of my first book, which had to do with my spiritual experiences and the animals and acting as animal totems and so forth. And of course it happened right the night before winter break, and I literally spent the next 4 days in bed writing this book. And I was so excited to share the information. I just knew that, this was really special, and I just felt that, I needed to get this out there. And so I immediately, without any research or information or whatever, I immediately signed up with a well-known spiritual self-publishing firm, and spent a total of about $15,000, $10,000 on self-publishing and $5,000 on a 1 month with a publicist, because I was listening to everything that they were telling me and saying, you're going to be the next great author, you're going to be this, you're going to be that, and my heart was so full and excited with this information that I wanted to share, hook, line, and sinker. And after the experience, I, was kind of left feeling confused and betrayed and like, what the heck just happened? I thought that this was like a spiritual company. And as time went on, I started learning that more and more people were having experiences like that. So as I was finding my voice and I was figuring out kind of what maybe I could say based on all the spiritual experiences and study that I was having, I realized that part of what I wanted to do to be of service was to help other people be able to share their voices. And so Sacred Stories was really born from that. And the reason it's called Sacred Stories is because, to me, every story is a sacred story, whether it's a story of consciousness or a story of a life experience as sacred beings. I believe all of life is sacred, including the animals and Mother Earth. So every story is a sacred story, and that's a Reader's Digest version, really, of kind of how Sacred Stories was born.
So basically, Patricia, you're saying that you entrusted your book with, was this hybrid publishing? Was this a hybrid publisher, spiritual?
No, it was